what is it about IoT devices that kind of have made that make it difficult to secure them? I mean, is it their size and the power? I mean, what is it about them that makes them difficult to protect, basically, I guess?
Well, I think to start with that, I think they're generally speaking, some of these devices are tiny devices, supposed to be inexpensive, supposed to be spread over an application in different places, in different embedded in different equipment and things like that, depending on the application. But in many of these cases, to build a sophisticated defense into the device would be prohibitive, either in cost or in size, or sometimes it is possible, but would limit the marketability, the commercial possibilities of the devices. So in the short range, what we're going to have to do is to deal with this on a case-by-case basis, and that's what the technology providers are doing presently. They're dealing with the security of their particular devices as they find out new applications and new architectures for their systems. And in the long term, I believe that we're going to have to devise standards and architectures where the security architecture will be a big part of the design in such a way that you're going to spread the security problem along the architecture in such a way that you're going to be more protected at reasonable costs.
There's a much sort of deeper the penetration of security that I think people have been talking before. I mean, people are used to the idea of like, hey, maybe my home thermostat, my thermostat should be secured. But you're also talking about, well, the microphone in that thermostat that's listening to your voice commands needs to have its own security. Maybe the temperature sensor itself needs to have its own security. So this is a really much deeper sort of like dyed in the wool approach to security than I think people are used to. Would that be fair?
I mean, all of that is true. The devices needs the security process, and that's where we are nowadays. People are devising security measures for their own devices and try to interconnect and then see that the one thing talks to the other and the security is maintained along the link, and that is the short-term thinking, and that will prevail for a reasonable time. I think in the next few years, what we'll see is more of that. And at the same time, we will have the subject progressing in the field of architectural design and in standards and architectures, standard architectures. So it will be parallel, but the thing is that the long term won't be ready in 2 or 3 years.
So I guess as it relates to IoT devices, is there, what kind of recommendations do you have now for consumers or businesses looking to protect themselves or at least mitigate some of these problems?
Well, I think that in the short term they have to do what they've been doing. They have to work with their manufacturers of trust to check that they have pretty reliable devices and implement networks and systems and applications that have intrinsically some level of security in which they feel comfortable. Also, I think very important, security continues to be also a behavioral subject. If you forget the aspects of social engineering, the behavioral aspects of security, then it doesn't help a lot if you have good hardware, increasingly software, because they're going to be an easy target anyway.
I'm reminded when you said social engineering, I'm reminded that every 2 years, the 2600, the Hacker magazine, has a conference in New York. And as a sort of a capstone to that conference, the editor-in-chief and a few of his buddies call on a phone. There's a whole hall packed with people. And they try various things on a phone, and it's amazing like how they're able to, and usually they're pretty good about turning the volume down before anything can be heard, but they're able to get, they're able to call up a retailer, and get people in that at that retailer start reading credit card numbers out over the phone. So it didn't matter like if they had a secured network. It didn't matter that their point of sale terminals were all locked down. It didn't matter because the person at the end of the phone had been convinced that he was talking to corporate IT and was helping them troubleshoot a problem, because they often say, hey, I hear you guys are having some problems with your terminals, and they're always having problems with their terminals. So they were able to like get these people to get, so it completely bypassed any other sort of security concerns. So I think you're right. It is really important to look at that human dimension on top of all these that can make even the best technology moot.
Yeah. Oh, and this is capital. This is very important, and it will stay important for the next few years at least.
It was really fascinating talking with you here today, and thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me here.